In the quiet beginning of this sacred journey, faithful prayer daily opens its doors like a small candle in a vast night, inviting every weary heart to pause, breathe, and step gently into a space where Christian meditation becomes a soft whisper between the soul and its Creator. Here, the noise of the world loosens its grip, and the scriptures for peace and strength rise like a calm dawn over troubled thoughts. As you enter this moment of reflection, let your heart remember that God's love and mercy are never distant. They wait patiently at the threshold of each new day, ready to renew, restore, and reshape the hidden corners within us. With each breath you take, allow the ancient wisdom of biblical truth to settle upon you like dew on a quiet field, reminding you that your life has always been held in the hands of the one who formed you with purpose and tenderness. As we step together into this first meditation, I gently offer a simple invitation to those who feel called to walk this path more deeply. Remain with us, let these reflections become part of your daily Christian encouragement, and if it stirs your spirit, consider supporting this ministry by subscribing, liking, or sharing so that others wandering in darkness may also find this soft and steady light. The story begins in the early stillness before sunrise, when the world is hushed and the heavens seem to lean close. In this hour, the ancient prophets often listened for God's voice, not in thunder or fire, but in the quiet breeze that passed through the desert valleys. It is here, in the gentle sigh of creation, that we learn how to pray effectively, not by perfect words or rehearsed phrases, but by opening the deepest parts of our hearts to the one who already knows the unspoken struggles we carry. As the psalmist wrote, "Deep calls unto deep," and this calling invites us to step into the inner wilderness where God shapes us through silence. In these moments, Bible reflections become living streams, flowing through the mind like rivers through a dry land, offering spiritual growth through Jesus to the thirsty and the tired. Imagine yourself walking through a peaceful field at daybreak. Light begins to spill across the horizon, touching the tops of grasses with a warm golden glow. This is the way God approaches our lives, not forceful, not rushed, but tender, patient, compassionate. His love does not break in violently, it seeps in like morning light, transforming darkness without demanding it to flee in fear. When life presses us into corners of anxiety, when shadows gather thicker than we expect, Christian teachings for anxiety remind us that fear is not the final word. Instead, God invites us to let go and trust Him, to allow His presence to guide each step even when the path is hidden beneath uncertainty. There is a story often overlooked in its simplicity, the shepherd who wakes before dawn. He rises not because he must, but because love compels him. He walks among the sleeping sheep, touching each one with a quiet assurance that they are safe. He checks the boundaries for danger, he listens for distant threats, he ensures every weakness within the flock is protected. This is the tenderness of Christ, the shepherd of our souls. In moments of faith in hard times, when the journey feels overwhelming, we can look to the shepherd who guards us not from afar but from within our very struggles. He walks into the storms we fear and stands between us and the winds that threaten to undo us. As we breathe into this moment, imagine the shepherd placing his hand upon your shoulder. Feel the weight, not heavy, but grounding, steady, strong, like the anchor that holds a ship through restless waters. In his touch, you may sense the truth that you are never forgotten. You are never alone. God's love and mercy do not waver with the seasons of your life, they remain like a firm foundation beneath your feet. And though storms rise, though the nights deepen, the scriptures for peace and strength remind us that the Lord is our refuge and our fortress, a present help even in the shadows that frighten us. Sometimes, the greatest spiritual growth through Jesus comes not through victories but through vulnerabilities. We often believe that God meets us most powerfully when we are strong, confident, and thriving, but the Bible shows again and again that He draws nearest in the wilderness seasons. When Elijah fled into the desert, exhausted by fear and uncertainty, God did not rebuke him. Instead, he provided rest, nourishment, and a gentle whisper that restored Elijah's soul. This is the God who walks beside us, who understands the fragile edges of our humanity. He knows the nights when sleep refuses to come, the moments when sorrow thickens in the chest, the questions that echo without answers. And he speaks quietly, reminding us that faith in hard times is not about denying our struggles but about discovering his presence within them. Picture a seed hidden beneath the soil. It does not rise overnight. It does not rush toward the sun. It grows in darkness first, slowly expanding, breaking open, stretching roots deeper before it ever appears above the surface. Our spiritual journey mirrors this sacred process. God often works in the unseen, shaping our hearts in ways we cannot measure. Through Christian meditation, we learn to honor this slow unfolding, to stop pushing ourselves toward outcomes, and instead surrender to the gentle rhythm of grace. When we let go and trust God, we allow Him to shape us in ways that surpass our understanding. Trust is not passive. It is an act of profound courage, choosing to believe that the one who began a good work within you will faithfully complete it. As we move deeper into this reflection, imagine yourself walking beside a still river. The water moves softly, carrying reflections of the sky. Each ripple seems to echo a promise: "Be still and know that I am God." These words hold both command and comfort. They teach us how to pray effectively by reminding us that prayer is not merely speaking to God, it is resting in Him. It is becoming quiet enough to hear His heartbeat within our own, to feel His strength fortify our weary minds, to let His peace settle into the anxious rooms of our souls. Christian teachings for anxiety remind us that the cure for worry is not control but surrender. It is trusting that God's love and mercy will meet us where our understanding ends. In these quiet waters, daily Christian encouragement flows gently like a whisper from heaven. You may feel the Holy Spirit moving through your thoughts, untangling knots you didn't know were binding your spirit. Let the river of God's grace wash over every fear, every doubt, every silent burden you carry. Allow His presence to soften what has grown hardened, to restore what has been broken, to illuminate what has been dimmed by disappointment or exhaustion. As the light strengthens across the horizon, imagine standing in its warmth. The sun rises each morning without fail, reminding us that God's faithfulness is unwavering. Even when we cannot see Him working, He is moving in the silent spaces, orchestrating a grace so profound that it often escapes our notice until we reflect upon it later. In this rising light, may you feel the truth settling into your heart. You are cherished beyond measure, called by name, held securely by the one who shaped the mountains, commanded the seas, and placed eternity within your spirit. This is the beginning of our journey together. A journey through Scripture, through stillness, through the fragile and resilient places of the human heart. Faithful Prayer Daily will walk beside you, offering gentle reflections, guiding prayers, and moments of deep spiritual connection. If these meditations nurture your spirit and draw you closer to God, you are welcome to stay, to return, to share this peaceful space with others seeking hope and healing. And if it aligns with your heart, consider supporting this growing sanctuary by subscribing or sharing, so that more souls may find rest in the presence of the Lord. As we close this first reflection, let your heart rest in the truth that God is near, that His love surrounds you like morning light, that His mercy follows you like a faithful shadow, and that His word will guide you through every wilderness and every dawn. This is only the beginning, and the one who leads you will walk with you into every chapter yet to unfold. The river of God's presence continues its gentle flow as the morning deepens, and in its quiet motion you may sense the Spirit drawing you further inward, inviting you to explore the hidden regions of your soul with a courage that comes not from yourself but from the one who strengthens all who seek Him. The light settles on your shoulders like a warm mantle, reminding you that every step you take beneath heaven's gaze is witnessed, cherished, and guided by the Lord who never slumbers nor sleeps. As you continue walking beside these still waters, breathe in the assurance that Christian meditation is not an escape from life but a sacred returning to the source of all life, where the heart learns to listen again, and where Bible reflections become living waters that cleanse the restless mind. There are seasons when the soul wanders through deserts that seem endless, where prayers feel dry and where your own voice echoes back to you with no apparent answer. Yet even in these barren places, God's love and mercy remain like an underground river, unseen but always present, flowing beneath every cracked surface. In these moments, you may learn how to pray effectively not through eloquence, but through honesty. A whispered "Help me, Lord" can become a ladder reaching higher than any elaborate speech. Faith in hard times does not demand that you stand tall. It invites you to kneel and let God lift you in His perfect time. Imagine walking deeper into this desert landscape. The air is still, and the sand beneath your feet is cool from the night. Ahead of you rises a solitary rock, tall and weathered by centuries of wind. You approach it, and beneath its shadow you feel an unexpected peace. This rock becomes a reminder of the Lord who is your fortress, unmoving and eternal. In His shade, Christian teachings for anxiety become more than words. They become the living truth that anxiety may shake you but it cannot uproot you, for your foundation is Christ Himself. You rest your hand upon the stone, feeling the strength beneath your fingertips, and you remember that spiritual growth through Jesus often begins with a quiet surrender rather than a triumphant shout. As you continue this slow and sacred walk, the desert begins to change. You notice small patches of green, first a sprout, then a small herb, then a cluster of resilient shrubs flourishing against all odds. These fragile signs of life remind you that God plants seeds even in the harshest seasons. They grow quietly, without announcement, nourished by the unseen faithfulness of the One who tends your spirit with patient love. Daily Christian encouragement is like these hidden seeds. Even when you cannot see their progress, they continue to shape the landscape of your heart. The wind picks up gently, carrying with it the scent of distant rain. You look toward the horizon and see clouds gathering, soft and heavy with promise. This rain does not threaten, it blesses. It is the kind of rain that softens the earth, that awakens sleeping roots, that brings restoration where dryness once dominated. When the first drops fall upon your skin, you may feel God's love and mercy in their cool touch, reminding you that He sends rain on both the barren and the blooming, on both the strong and the weary, on both the confident and the broken. His mercy does not discriminate. It pours freely, generously, constantly. As the rain strengthens, the desert around you transforms. Dust settles. Seeds awaken. Colors deepen. What seemed lifeless becomes vibrant under the tender care of heaven. In the same way, when you let go and trust God, you allow His spiritual rain to soften the hardened places of your heart. You let Him work where you once resisted. You let Him heal what you once hid. The renewal that follows is not always visible at first, but over time, the landscape of your soul begins to look different, less desolate, more alive, more rooted in the faithfulness of Christ. You continue walking, feeling the sand beneath your feet gradually shift into firmer soil. The ground becomes greener. Streams begin to appear, weaving their way through the terrain with gentle faithfulness. They bring with them the soundtrack of peace, soft flowing, subtle movement, the quiet reassurance that God's presence is not only near but active. You kneel beside one of these streams and cup your hands into the clear water, feeling its coolness soak into your palms. This is the living water Jesus spoke of, the water that quenches the deeper thirst, the thirst that no earthly satisfaction can reach. Scriptures for peace and strength echo through your thoughts as you drink, reminding you that the Lord is your shepherd and you shall not want. Ahead of you rises a grove of tall trees, their leaves shimmering in the breeze. As you step beneath their canopy, the light dances between the branches in patterns that feel almost like a blessing. Here, in this sacred shade, you feel God's voice resting gently upon your soul, not demanding, not instructing, but simply assuring you of His constant presence. You sit beside one of the trees, leaning your back against its trunk, feeling the steady strength that supports you. In this stillness, the Spirit begins to reveal the quiet truth that you are part of His greater story, shaped by His hands, guided by His heart. The air around you becomes warm with peace. The worries of the past loosen their grip. The fears of tomorrow fade into a soft haze. You are held in the present moment, embraced by the One who spans eternity yet cares intimately for every detail of your life. In this refuge, Christian meditation becomes a doorway into communion with God, where your spirit listens more than it speaks, where your heart breathes in the assurance of divine nearness. You close your eyes and feel the weight of God's presence settle upon you, not heavy, but comforting, like a blanket after a long journey. In this sacred pause, you understand a truth that only silence can teach, that God's love and mercy are not distant promises but present realities, accessible with each breath, resonating within each heartbeat. The path ahead may twist and rise, may lead through valleys or mountaintops, but the shepherd who walks beside you will never abandon your side. Every step is seen. Every tear is counted. Every hope is held within the everlasting arms of God, who calls you His own. The journey continues, and with each moment you find new layers of peace rising within you, gently, steadily, like the dawn that breaks without rushing, illuminating every shadow until nothing remains hidden from the light of His grace. The path ahead opens like a soft ribbon of earth, guiding your steps toward a landscape that continues to shift under the mercy of God's hand. The air holds a gentle silence, the kind that makes you aware of your own breathing, your own heartbeat, your own longing for the presence that has followed you from the desert into this sanctified grove. Each moment feels stretched with holiness, as though time has slowed to allow your spirit to absorb the fullness of what God desires to place within you. You begin to walk again, the leaves whispering overhead like the quiet hymn of creation, reminding you that every element of this world echoes a truth older than any struggle you have faced, that you are loved, pursued, and held by the One whose goodness has no end. As you move deeper into this peaceful place, you begin to hear a distant sound, soft, rhythmic, familiar. The gentle rush of a waterfall cascades through the trees, beckoning you closer with a promise of renewal. You follow the sound, stepping over roots and stones, each stride carrying an unspoken prayer for understanding, for strength, for the kind of peace that settles the soul in a way nothing else can. When you reach the water's edge, you pause. Before you is a curtain of falling water, shimmering in the golden light, washing everything beneath it with a steady flow of purity and grace. Standing here, you realize that this is what God's love and mercy feel like, unceasing, cleansing, restoring what the world has worn thin. You reach out your hand, letting the mist touch your skin, and in that simple connection you sense something sacred awakening within you. Scriptures for peace and strength rise gently in your heart, reminding you that those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will rise on wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary, they will walk and not faint. The weight that once pressed against your spirit begins to lift, not because your circumstances have changed, but because God is whispering assurance into your soul, I am with you. I will never leave you. You are mine. You step closer to the water until you feel the cool spray on your face. With each breath, your heart begins to loosen its grip on fear, releasing its quiet anxieties into the hands of the One who has carried you from the beginning. Christian teachings for anxiety remind you that perfect love casts out fear, not by force, but by presence. Fear dissolves when it can no longer convince you that you are alone. In this moment, the waterfall becomes a symbol of God's constant nearness, a reminder that His grace pours over every hidden corner of your life, reaching even the places you thought were beyond healing. You find a smooth stone and sit beside the water, allowing the sound to steady your thoughts. The world outside feels distant, as though God Himself has placed a gentle boundary around this moment so that nothing can intrude upon the peace He is shaping within you. Christian meditation is not an escape, it is a returning, a homecoming, a sacred rest that teaches the heart to recognize God in both the quiet and the chaos. As you listen to the flow of the water, you begin to understand how to pray effectively, not with striving, not with trying to impress heaven, but with simple honesty. Prayer becomes less about speaking and more about surrendering, less about asking for control and more about releasing control to the one who governs your steps with wisdom far beyond your own. The waterfall softens in your awareness as your attention shifts inward. You begin to see the landscape of your own heart more clearly now, its valleys of fear, its mountains of desire, its untouched wilderness. And yet, instead of judgment, you feel compassion rising within you, a reflection of the compassion God has shown you again and again throughout your life. Spiritual growth through Jesus begins in moments like this, where truth and grace meet, where the soul realizes that transformation is not achieved by force but by yielding to the gentle work of the Spirit. You rise from the stone and walk around the edge of the pool. Each step feels lighter, steadier, anchored in the quiet trust that God's presence goes before you and behind you, shaping your path in ways you cannot yet see. Sunlight filters through the trees, shimmering on the water's surface like small pieces of heaven scattered across the earth. You bend down and touch the water again, watching the ripples expand outward, each one a soft reminder that even the smallest movement of faith creates waves that reach further than you know. You step away from the pool and follow a path that leads upward. The trees open into a clearing where the ground is soft with moss and the air carries the fragrance of wild herbs warmed by the sun. A gentle breeze brushes your face, and for a moment it feels like the very breath of God, filling your lungs with hope. Daily Christian encouragement is written into the very nature around you, the resilience of the trees, the persistence of the streams, the quiet determination of life rising from soil once hardened by drought. God's creation becomes a living sermon, teaching you that even after long seasons of spiritual dryness, renewal always comes. As you stand in this clearing, you notice a single wildflower growing from a crack in a stone. Its petals are bright, gently trembling in the breeze. Its existence seems improbable, and yet it blooms with quiet courage. You kneel beside it, marveling at the strength hidden within its delicate form. This is the message God places in your heart, that even in the hardest seasons, faith in hard times is not about avoiding difficulty but about blooming through it. God gives strength not to those who have perfect circumstances, but to those who place their trust in Him despite the uncertainty. You rise again, feeling the quiet strength of the Holy Spirit building within you. You walk forward, following the faint path that continues beyond the clearing, knowing that every step becomes an opportunity for deeper trust, for deeper dependence on the shepherd who leads you. The journey is not rushed. The moments unfold slowly, intentionally, as though heaven desires you to savor each breath, each revelation, each gentle whisper of God's love and mercy. You continue walking until the trail descends slightly into another grove, where sunlight filters through the leaves in soft, golden patterns. Here, you pause once more, sensing that God is inviting you into a deeper stillness. You close your eyes and allow your thoughts to settle like dust on a quiet road. In this silent space, you hear the faint echo of a truth that has followed you from the beginning: let go and trust God. These words settle into the core of your being, shaping the way you breathe, the way you listen, the way you open your heart to whatever comes next. You remain in that moment of stillness, letting the words become part of you, letting them seep into the places where worry once lived. And as the silence deepens, you feel a quiet certainty rising within you, a certainty that God is not finished with your story, that His hand continues to guide you, that His voice will continue to whisper through every season you walk through. The path stretches ahead, filled with grace you have yet to discover, peace you have yet to feel, and strength you have yet to claim. And with each step you take, God walks beside you, shaping you, renewing you, and calling you ever deeper into His love. The light in the grove shifts as though guided by an unseen hand, and you begin to walk once more, following the path that seems to breathe with the same rhythm as your heart. Each step carries a weight of meaning, not because the ground is difficult, but because every movement forward feels like a response to God's quiet call. The trees around you stand tall and silent, their roots gripping the earth with unwavering strength, reminding you that the deeper a soul is rooted in God, the more resilient it becomes in the face of storms. You touch the rough bark of one tree as you pass, feeling the firmness beneath your palm, and in that moment you understand something profound about faith in hard times. It is not the absence of struggle but the ability to stand firm because your roots reach the living waters of Christ. The path curves gently and opens into a meadow bathed in soft, warm sunlight. The air is gentle here, carrying hints of wild honey and cedar carried from distant hills. As you step onto the open field, you feel the quiet embrace of stillness wrapping around you. This silence is not empty, it is full, alive, pulsing with the quiet presence of God. It is in this sacred quiet that Bible reflections begin to rise within you like a soft chorus, scriptures for peace and strength weaving through your thoughts with a grace that brings clarity where confusion once lived. You inhale deeply and allow these truths to settle inside you like seeds drawn into fertile soil. At the edge of the meadow, you notice a stream winding its way through the tall grasses. It sparkles beneath the sunlight like threads of silver woven by the hand of God Himself. You walk toward it, drawn by its gentle sound, and kneel beside the flowing water. As you gaze at the reflection shimmering on its surface, you see not just your own face but the quiet work of God shaping you through every season. Christian meditation becomes more than a practice here, it becomes a way of breathing, a way of seeing, a way of being present with God in the simplest moments. You dip your fingers into the stream and feel the coolness wrap around your skin. The ripples expand outward, each one a gentle reminder that even the smallest gesture of faith can send waves of renewal into every corner of your life. As you watch the movement of the water, you remember the words of Jesus, "Whoever believes in me, out of their heart will flow rivers of living water." These rivers are not loud or forceful, they are steady, patient, persistent, shaping the heart slowly in ways that last. Spiritual growth through Jesus unfolds in this way, quietly, faithfully, with a strength that does not seek attention but transforms everything it touches. You rise from the stream and walk deeper into the meadow. The grass brushes softly against your legs, bending in a gentle rhythm to the breath of the wind. In this peaceful space, the world feels distant, and the concerns that once weighed heavily on your mind no longer hold the same power. Christian teachings for anxiety remind you that worry loses its grip when your heart aligns with the presence of God, when your thoughts find their rest in His promises, when your spirit surrenders the illusion of control and embraces the truth that He is guiding every unseen detail. Ahead of you stands an old wooden fence, weathered by time but still upright, still steady. You place your hand on its top rail and feel the warmth of the sun upon it. Beyond the fence lies a vast field stretching toward the horizon, golden and shimmering like a sea of grace. Each blade of grass carries the quiet message of God's faithfulness, reminding you that even the most ordinary places can hold extraordinary truth when seen through the eyes of the Spirit. You lean against the fence for a moment and allow your thoughts to drift like clouds across a quiet sky, remembering that daily Christian encouragement can come from the simplest touch of creation, the smallest sign of God's presence woven into the fabric of everyday life. You continue walking, and the meadow gradually gives way to a gentle hillside dotted with wildflowers. Their colors vary: soft blues, deep purples, bright yellows, but together they form a tapestry of beauty that speaks of God's creativity, His joy, His delight in filling the world with signs of hope. You stoop down and gently touch one of the blossoms. It quivers slightly under your fingers, fragile yet resilient, shaped by its exposure to sun and rain, wind and night. This small flower becomes a symbol of your own journey, reminding you that spiritual strength does not come from avoiding difficulties, but from enduring them with grace, nourished by God's love and mercy. As you climb the hillside, the wind picks up, brushing through your hair and carrying the distant echo of something ancient and holy. You pause and listen. At first it seems like nothing more than the movement of the air, but as you stand still, you begin to hear a deeper resonance. It is the quiet pulse of creation, the whisper of God woven into the very fabric of the wind. It speaks without words, and yet its message is clear: let go and trust God. The wind carries these words into your spirit like a gentle command, inviting you into deeper release, deeper openness, deeper surrender to the one who holds your life in His hands. You close your eyes and let the wind move around you. With each breath, you release the fears that have lingered in the corners of your mind. The what-ifs that once loomed large begin to fade. The pressures that tightened your chest loosen their hold. The unanswered questions lose their urgency. In their place comes a quiet confidence, not born of certainty about the future but born of certainty about God. You know that He is with you, guiding each step, shaping each moment, carrying each burden even when you do not feel it. You continue walking along the ridge of the hill until you reach a place where the land drops gently into a valley below. The view spreads before you like a living canvas: rolling fields, winding rivers, clusters of distant trees, all wrapped in the warm glow of afternoon sunlight. From this height, you see the world with a broader perspective, and your heart understands a truth you often forget: that God sees your life from a higher place. Where you see obstacles, He sees pathways. Where you see delays, He sees preparation. Where you see endings, He sees beginnings. His perspective is vast, eternal, filled with wisdom that far surpasses your own. You sit on a smooth stone at the edge of the ridge and let your legs dangle over the side. The world below feels peaceful, and you feel a growing peace rising within you as well. Scriptures for peace and strength settle softly in your mind, reminding you that those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. These words do not come as commands but as gentle reassurances. God is not urging you to be strong on your own. He is reminding you that His strength is already carrying you, already surrounding you, already lifting you from within. As the sun begins its slow descent toward the horizon, the sky shifts into shades of amber and rose, painting the valley with a warm, golden glow. You watch the colors unfold, feeling the presence of God in every brushstroke of light. The beauty before you becomes a living reminder that even the day itself submits to the rhythm God ordained, a rhythm of rising and resting, of giving and receiving, of moving and pausing. In this sacred rhythm, you find a new way to understand how to pray effectively. Prayer is not merely an act but a posture of the heart, a continual turning toward God, a willingness to rest in His timing and trust in His goodness. You remain seated as the light softens around you, embracing the stillness, the quiet, the sense of sacredness stretching across the land. Everything feels touched by God, every breeze, every shadow, every fading ray of light. And as you sit in this holy place, your heart knows that God is not only near, He is within you, shaping each breath, guiding each step, whispering through each moment, calling you ever deeper into His peace. The last warmth of the day gathers gently around you as the sun drifts lower, and you sit in the quiet embrace of that fading light, feeling the nearness of God settle deeper into your spirit. The valley below softens into gold and amber, as though heaven itself is laying a gentle hand upon the earth, blessing it with peace before the coming night. You breathe slowly, allowing the hush of the moment to sink into your bones, and you sense that this stillness is not empty but filled with the tender presence of the Holy Spirit, lingering like a soft whisper guiding you further into calm and trust. As the sun continues its slow descent, shadows stretch across the meadow, creating long patterns of light and darkness woven together in perfect harmony. This tapestry reminds you that your life too carries both brightness and shadows, seasons of clarity and seasons of questioning, yet God's love and mercy thread through them all with unwavering patience. You remember the words that once comforted the psalmist, "Even the darkness is not dark to you." And in these ancient words, you find assurance that even your hidden fears, your silent battles, your unanswered prayers rest within the gentle gaze of the one who sees every part of you with compassion. A faint breeze brushes past you, carrying with it the scent of earth cooling beneath the twilight sky. The breeze wraps around you like a quiet blessing, and in that moment you understand that God often speaks not through thunder but through softness, through the subtle nudges that remind your soul to let go and trust God, to release your tight grip on worries you were never meant to carry alone. The wind continues its gentle rhythm, whispering through the grass, and its sound becomes a soothing hymn that eases the weight inside your heart. You rise slowly from the stone where you've been sitting, and begin to follow the ridge path as it slopes gently downward. The sky above shifts into hues of violet and deepening blue, and a few early stars appear like small promises scattered across the heavens. One by one, they emerge in the quiet darkness, and you think of the countless times God has lit your way with glimmers of hope when everything around you felt uncertain. These stars, tiny yet brilliant, become symbols of daily Christian encouragement, reminders that God never stops guiding, never stops illuminating, even when the path seems dim. As you descend the hillside, the land opens before you into a valley where the grass moves like quiet waves brushed by the evening wind. You walk slowly, taking in the serenity of the moment, feeling the earth steady beneath your feet. The farther you travel, the more you sense God's presence surrounding you in every detail, the chirping of distant crickets, the soft rustle of leaves, the fading warmth lingering on the air. Each sound, each movement, each breath becomes a form of Christian meditation, drawing your heart into deeper communion with the God who crafted every inch of creation to reflect His glory and care. In the valley's center, you find a small wooden bench placed beneath an old oak tree. Its branches stretch wide, sturdy and sheltering, as though inviting weary souls to rest beneath its care. You sit upon the bench, feeling its smooth surface beneath your hands, and look up at the branches arching above you. The tree has clearly weathered many seasons, storms, droughts, winds, but it stands strong, deeply rooted in the soil that has held it for decades. Its endurance becomes a living testimony of faith in hard times, showing that strength is not measured by avoiding storms but by remaining rooted through them. You close your eyes and lean back, letting the presence of God settle over you like the night's first gentle veil. You breathe deeply, sensing the quiet strength of the tree, and feel God imparting that same strength into your spirit. Scriptures for peace and strength echo softly in your thoughts, reminding you that those who trust in the Lord are like trees planted by streams of water, yielding fruit in season, whose leaves do not wither. These words take root within you, grounding you in a truth that transcends circumstance, that God nourishes your soul with His unfailing presence, even in the seasons when you feel barren or weary. The night deepens around you, but there is no fear in this darkness. Instead, it feels holy, sacred, gently wrapping the earth in a quiet that invites reflection. You look out across the valley, now cloaked in darkness except for the shimmer of moonlight settling on the grass, and you feel a profound calm spreading through your chest. Christian teachings for anxiety reveal their truth in this silent space. Peace is not found in the absence of problems but in the presence of God. And here, in this still night, His presence feels closer than breath. You lift your gaze upward, watching the moon rise slowly into the sky, casting its silver glow over the landscape. Its light reflects on the leaves, on the gentle curve of the hills, on the slow drift of clouds passing quietly overhead. This soft illumination reminds you that even when you cannot see the fullness of God's plan, His light is still present, guiding each step with quiet faithfulness. You realize that learning how to pray effectively is less about finding the right words and more about opening your heart to moments like this, moments where God reveals Himself in the stillness, in the beauty, in the surrender. You remain seated for a long while, resting in the sacred silence of the night. The worries that once felt tangled inside you begin to fall away, loosened by the peace that God pours into you like living water. You feel the Spirit breathing steadiness into your thoughts, hope into your heart, clarity into your soul. The night sky stretches endlessly above you, vast and majestic, reminding you of God's infinite power and boundless love. Eventually, you rise from the bench, feeling lighter than when you first sat down. You continue walking through the valley, guided by the moonlight that spills softly across the path. Each step feels intentional, each breath filled with quiet gratitude. You know now that God is not only the shepherd who leads you beside still waters but also the light who guides you through the night, the presence who stands with you in every season, the strength that carries you when your own strength falls short. The valley eventually narrows into a path lined with tall grass that sways gently in the night wind. You follow it, listening to the soft rhythm of creation around you. In this serene darkness, you realize that faith is not merely a belief, it is a way of seeing, a way of listening, a way of walking with God that reshapes your entire existence. You understand now that spiritual growth through Jesus is not a destination but a lifelong journey unfolding one step, one breath, one quiet moment at a time. As you walk, the horizon begins to change again. A faint glow appears far in the distance, subtle at first, then slowly expanding. Dawn is approaching. The night that wrapped you in peace begins to release its hold, giving way to the gentle promise of a new day. And with that promise comes the quiet assurance that the God who walked with you through the darkness will walk with you through the light as well, guiding you, strengthening you, loving you with a faithfulness that never ends. The first touch of dawn brushes gently against the horizon, soft and pale like the breath of heaven rising to meet a world just beginning to stir. You pause on the narrow path as the darkness loosens its hold, watching as the sky slowly awakens with hues of quiet gold and tender rose. The air carries a subtle shift, a calm expectancy, as though all of creation is holding its breath, waiting for the light that always returns. This sacred moment reminds you that no night lasts forever, and that God's love and mercy are faithful enough to usher in a new beginning even after the longest, heaviest shadows. You take a deep breath, savoring the coolness of the morning, and your heart feels strangely refreshed, as though the Lord has been gently untangling the hidden burdens within you throughout the night. The journey through valley and silence, through grove and flowing water, through desert and meadow, has shaped a quiet truth in your spirit, that God is not only present in the peaceful moments but also in the wrestling, the wandering, the waiting. He has walked beside you through every breath of this pilgrimage, guiding you with scriptures for peace and strength that linger even now, soft reminders that the same God who lights the dawn lights your path through every season of life. As the sky brightens, the birds begin their morning hymn, their voices rising and falling like a gentle chorus conducted by the hand of God. Their song carries a message older than memory: be still and trust. These creatures do not worry about tomorrow's bread, tomorrow's shelter, tomorrow's storms. They live fully in each moment, trusting the Creator who sustains them. And in their song you hear the echo of Jesus' own teaching, a quiet invitation to let go and trust God, to release the anxious grip on things beyond your control, to rest in the certainty that the Father who dresses the lilies and feeds the sparrows cares far more deeply for your heart. You step forward again, feeling a renewed sense of peace with each stride. The path winds gently upward toward a hill where the sun is beginning to climb, and you follow it with a steady, unhurried pace. With every step, Christian meditation deepens within you, not as a practice you must perform, but as a way of being, a way of staying close to the shepherd who leads you with tenderness. You feel the presence of Christ like a warm cloak around your shoulders, and the knowledge of His nearness gives rise to a strength that is quiet but unshakable. When you reach the crest of the hill, the full glory of the sunrise unfolds before you. Light pours into the valley below like a river of gold, illuminating the fields, the distant woods, the bending streams, the path you walk through the night. Everything glows with a softness that speaks of hope, of renewal, of God's unwavering faithfulness. You stand there for a long moment, letting the beauty wash over you, letting gratitude rise like gentle waves from deep within your spirit. In this sacred stillness, you begin to understand how deeply God has been shaping you, layer by layer, thought by thought, moment by moment. The fears that once pressed heavily on your chest feel lighter now, loosened by Christian teachings for anxiety that quiet your mind with the assurance that His peace surpasses all understanding. The doubts that once clouded your vision have softened, replaced by the slow, steady confidence that comes from spiritual growth through Jesus. The wounds that once felt raw now feel held, tended to, embraced by the healing presence of the Holy Spirit. As the sun rises higher, its warmth touches your face, and you close your eyes, letting its light remind you of the face of God that shines upon you with love that never dims. Bible reflections well up in your heart with renewed clarity, truths that have guided countless generations before you and will continue guiding you through each new day. You realize now that the journey you have walked in this reflection is more than imagery. It mirrors the quiet work God is doing in your real life, inviting you to rest in Him, listen to Him, and follow Him step by gentle step. You lower your gaze to the path ahead. It stretches forward, disappearing into the soft brightness of the morning. The details of the road remain hidden, but your heart feels no fear. Instead, there is only a calm assurance that wherever the path leads, the shepherd goes before you. You carry with you the peace born from the still waters, the strength gained in the valley, the renewal found beneath the waterfall of grace, the hope discovered in the rising dawn. You take one more breath of the morning air, steady and full, and feel the quiet urging of the Holy Spirit inviting you onward, into the day, into the journey ahead, into the story God continues to write in your life. You step forward, not with haste, but with a peaceful confidence that the one who called you will never forsake you, that His love will remain your anchor, and that His mercy will follow you all the days of your life. And as your footsteps carry you deeper into the new day, your heart rests secure in the truth that God is with you, now, always, and in every moment to come.